you have everything you need for university? Maybe you're coming to university and you're trying to decide what to bring with you. Maybe you're already a current student. You see, making friends at university is difficult. So I've prepared 5 essential items to help you out. My name's Nate Gates. I'm a first year student at Warwick University. Let's go. A speaker. Now let's start by saying that university is going to be one of the most social times of your life. And quite simply, what enhances every single social situation? Music. Duh. I mean, you're gonna use it for everything. I mean, whether that's parties, chilling by yourself in your room, watching a movie with your friends. Heck, I use mine when I take a shower. When you're playing chess, when you're on the toilet. Okay, too far. Lying on a hill at the end of term with your mates, watching the sunset with heat waves banging in the background. I mean, I'm just saying it's fun. It's just a necessity. Now, first of all, what I'll say is that you're going to want yours to be at least wireless and portable. Now, before I picked up this bad boy, I had an Apple HomePod. Not the HomePod Mini, I mean like that massive thing. The problem was you needed to plug it into a wall. And I mean, the thing was massive. It sounded great, but it was just so inconvenient. Now, making sure yours is waterproof is also amazing. I mean, whenever you're outside, there's always the chance of rain. And I'm not joking, actually being able to use it in the shower, best thing ever. In these videos, I try to take into consideration the budget of a uni student. I mean, I'm one after all. However, the problem is with the speaker, spending too little will leave you with some flimsy bit of plastic that'll break in a month and sound terrible. And so on this occasion, spending a little bit more is 100% worth it. I would personally say the sweet spot's somewhere between 60 and 120 pounds. Now, in my opinion, far and away the best product on the market for all-purpose university speakers is the JBL range. Now, this here is a Flip 5, and it's everything you want it to be. I got a solid deal on Amazon for it, and it's now one of my favorite objects in the entire world. I mean, everything. The sound quality, the battery, the weight, the durability, volume, the bass, the portability, again, waterproofness. I really like having my shower, man. I mean, just flawless. My brother, however, who's a second-year medical student at Bristol University, threw a bit more money at it. He purchased the JBL boombox, and I can tell you from seeing that thing firsthand, it is incredible. If you have the budget, I would 100% recommend it. It's everything that is, but just more. And the vibe of a boombox is, I mean, it's just immaculate. I will say it's quite heavy, so you do have to sacrifice a bit of its portability, but damn, I love that thing. Links in the description. Board games. Now, at university, technology is wonderful and it's absolutely necessary. However, socially, sometimes it can work as a barrier of sorts. I mean, phones are literally like magic, but a genuine evening without them can be the better for it. Here's a secret. Eventually, you may get sick of clubbing. It's the same with partying, texting, and drinking. And you'll crave something more genuine. Enter the board game. In my opinion, these are one of the most underrated things in the modern world. They tend to have the stereotype of being outdated or boring, but in my opinion, in terms of human interaction, they are unparalleled in terms of bonding potential. Man, I'm using some really big words to describe Uno. Now, I'm serious. Some of my favorite nights at uni were just me and my friends packed in a kitchen arguing about some irrelevant and silly rule in a game. Why does everyone have different rules to Monopoly? Anyway, the reason I think they're so great is that conversation needs a subject, and I suppose a purpose, and to fabricate that out of thin air with a bunch of strangers is very difficult. But with the right game, all that work is done for you. All you have to do is just sit back and have fun. And argue, but in a good way. Now, here are my best suggestions. Now, this game that you can kind of see just there behind the pop vinyls is a game called Perudo. I'm not going to explain the rules now, but it's actually a super simple game once you can get your head around it. 10 out of 10, I would definitely recommend picking that up. Now, up here, I have an awesome small poker set, but that can get a little difficult to organize, and it's actually the same with games like Monopoly. I remember trying a few games and they kind of all fizzled out within the first hour. Actually, stay away from longer and more intense games like those. Of course, all the classics are still great. As I said, Uno, fantastic. But my number one suggestion would actually be Monopoly's little brother, Monopoly Deal. I don't actually have a set with me. I think I've actually given all my sets away as birthday presents. But Monopoly Deal is a really extraordinary game. It's way quicker and I'd actually argue sometimes funner than regular Monopoly. And it's given me some really extraordinary memories over the past year. Finally, at the very least, come to uni with a decent set of playing cards. Sports gear. You see, I miss those days of secondary school where all you needed to do was bring a ball into school and you'd be the most popular kid around. I mean, that's before some older kid booted the ball onto a roof for no reason and you went back to being a nobody. Now, sports is a wonderful way to make friends at university. And typically, the options that you'll have at your disposal will be incredible. This year, I've got a list. I've done football, netball, handball, spikeball, basketball, trampolining, swimming, rock climbing, gymnastics, tennis, table tennis, badminton, and squash. Wait, is lacrosse on the list? Oh, lacrosse isn't on the list. I did lacrosse too. Most of these opportunities I got through trying out some different societies. You see, university societies are one of the best ways to meet people. If you don't know what they are, essentially they're clubs, but a little more intense than that. Instead of things like my course, I actually met most of my friends through societies. I mean, they're fantastic even if you want to just pick up a new hobby, and for most you can go into them as a complete beginner. Now, the only downside to sports societies is you need the equipment, and it can get pricey. So, as a general bit of advice, anything you might have the slightest suspicion that you would want. In terms of sports gear, trust me, bring it along. As a student, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, because then you'd have to buy it and then you'd be broke. As I've said, I did climbing this year, and the harness and shoes were not cheap. Some good ideas might be things like tennis rackets and balls. A football's always wonderful. You'll want all the outfits too. I'm talking running gear, swimming gear, gym clothes. I mean, just use your common sense for that kind of stuff. Just bring it all. Finally, at the bare minimum, bring some ping pong balls. I won't say why. If you know, you know. Just trust me, bring a pack along. A TV. I'm not actually going to lift mine up to the screen. In fact, it's right here. You can probably see it. It's actually a projection of the camera, so you can probably see me. Well, look. Hello. Now, I'm not a moron. I do understand that uni students are on a budget. Again, uni student. However, one of the best ways to spend an evening with friends is movie nights. And a classic uni movie night is seriously special. When you and your friends are all huddled around one screen, watching some dumb movie you all love, it just brings you so much closer together. Now, I've been to quite a few, and some were done with things like laptops. And if you don't want to buy a TV, or you really don't want to bring one you already have with you, that's a good alternative. However, in my opinion, the TV was so much better. My movie nights were terrific. Now, yeah, with this thing, I went a little over the top. But there'll come a time when you'll be with a group of people and someone will ask the question, who's got a TV? Now, the amount I've used this thing over the past year is insane. Now, I've watched everything from Star Wars to Borat to Fight Club to F1, and I thank my lucky stars that I brought it along. I mean, whenever I worked in my room, I did all my work on this thing. I mean, the script that I'm reading right now was written on this thing. When I say TV, it's actually a monitor. This one's 32 inches. All you do is plug your laptop straight into it. If you pair something like a speaker with it, suddenly you're the most popular guy in the group. I'll put some links in the description for some good options. But what I will say is make sure it has a HDMI port and that it's at least, I'd say, 27 inches. Just do your research and get a good deal. Alcohol. Now, before I say anything, I want to make one thing absolutely clear. At university, you do not have to drink. There are people that don't drink and there are people that do. And I don't think either party really misses out. That being said, if you do drink at university, you're going to want to bring some alcohol with you because, wow, it's expensive. I personally have drank over this past year. Not silly amounts, in fact, compared to many people, I was extremely tame. However, even I managed to spend a hefty amount of money. And so my advice would be, before you leave, try and see what you can take from home. My parents actually let me have a very nice bottle of vodka that had been just sitting on their shelf for the past year that they just hadn't drank. And many family friends bought me some beers and ciders as like goodbye gifts. I'm glad they did. You may think it's something that you can just pick up at uni. And technically, yes, it is. But trust me, the amount of money that you spend in Freshers Week will give you a newfound appreciation of living costs. Gone are the days where as a kid you just chuck stuff in your parents' supermarket trolley. Is that thing on Club Card? No? Then put it back. This is uni, baby. If you have any nicer alcohol that you've been given as a gift, bring that along, but be restrained. Don't use Grey Goose in a drinking game, okay? A top tip if you don't like to drink is just to bring some really, really nice alcohol-free drinks anyway. It makes you feel that little bit nicer at a party. You know, when you have a really nice glass bottle of San Pellegrino? I don't know. Rather than some can of Tesco's own Diet Coke, I mean, ugh. Now, I don't really have to explain why bringing things like alcohol may help in the process of making friends. Because university parties are a brilliant way of meeting people. And drinking is a part of that culture. However, please only do what makes you feel comfortable. If you don't want to drink, it's fine. If you do want to drink, bring some with you. Okay guys, that's the video. I really hope you enjoyed it and you found it very useful. If you did, I'm a really small channel at the moment, so I would really appreciate a like, a subscribe, or literally anything. At the very least, leave a comment of gibberish, just for the algorithm. If you have any ideas of your own or any suggestions for future videos, you can leave that in the comments too. I try to reply to every single one. I'm also working really hard on TikTok at the moment, so I'd love for you to go check that out. If you have a chance, go check out my Instagram too. You may get a glimpse there of my actual uni life. If nothing else, I really love making these videos. I mean, it's super hard work. You can probably see me sweating, and I'm spending tons of money on them. And I'm not gonna lie to you, in the 2 years I've been doing this, I haven't made a penny. What matters to me is that you've bothered to watch to this point of the video, so for that, thank you. Go check out some of my other videos. Just remember this: I love you, I believe in you, and I'll see you soon. Woo! I'm done.